Students, let's see the relations of the pelvic part of the ureter. For that, I have taken again a section of the pelvis superior view. In this, you can see again anterior to posterior pubic symphysis and posteriorly sacrum, rectum, uterus and the bladder. This is in a half section, it is covered by the peritoneum, and in another half the peritoneum is removed. As you all know, in the pelvis the peritoneum is reflected from this rectum to the upper part of the fundus of the uterus, and it reflected over the upper part of the bladder again. The space in between the rectum and the uterus is known as recto-uterine pouch, and the peritoneal space in between the uterus and the bladder is vesico-uterine pouch. Now, to see the relations in the pelvic part of the ureter, so in front this ureter is covered with the peritoneum, and in female you can see here it forms the posterior boundary of the ovarian fossa and related to the ovary and the fallopian tubes. And to see the posterior relation of the ureter, come to this side. This is the anterior relation. It is covered with the peritoneum, and here you can see the posterior relations, the structures which are coming from front to behind, front to backward. These are the internal iliac artery, internal iliac vein, lumbosacral trunk over here, and the sacroiliac joints. So these are the 3-4 structures which comes behind the ureter, the pelvic part of the ureter, that is the internal iliac artery, internal iliac vein, lumbosacral trunk over here, and the sacroiliac joints. These are the posterior relation of the pelvic part of the ureter. Here this is the anterior relation and this is the posterior relation of the pelvic part of the ureter. Now let's see the lateral structures which are coming in the lateral relation of this ureter, part of the ureter. Now let's see the structures which are related laterally to the ureter. As this is the superior view. So this is ureter, and all these vessels and nerve you can see here, they are on the lateral aspect of the ureter. This is from on this side and from this side also. So all these vessels and nerves, they are on the lateral aspect of the ureter. What are those are? So the fascia covering the obturator internus, this superior vesical artery, this one obturator artery, इसी के साथ आपकी obturator nerve भी आएगी. So superior vesical artery which is supplying the bladder, obturator artery and nerve, and the obliterated part of the umbilical artery. This is obliterated part of the umbilical artery, obturator nerve and superior vesical artery. Along with that, obturator vein and inferior vesical vein and the inferior vesical artery and the middle rectal artery. These all are the structures which comes on the lateral relation of the ureter. In female, laterally there is one more important artery, that is the uterine artery, which is related again laterally in females. That is going to supply the uterus, uterine artery. Now this uterine artery lies first above and in front of ureter for a distance about 2.5 cm, and then it crosses it superiorly from lateral to medial side. So it crosses the ureter superiorly from lateral to medial side to go to the supply the uterus. This is uterine artery. So this is one again more important place where the uterine artery is crossing over the ureter. Come and see on this side. This ureter lies in the extraperitoneal connective tissue in the lower and the medial part of this broad ligament on the both sides. Now this is the lateral view of the female pelvis. So here you can see this is the urinary bladder, this is the uterus and the rectum. So here you can see this ureter lies about 2 centimeter lateral to this supravaginal part of the cervix. 2 centimeter lateral to the supravaginal part of the cervix, and it runs slightly above the lateral fornix of the vagina. So this is the relation of the uterus with the supravaginal part of the cervix, where there is a more chances to cut down this ureter while during the procedure of the hysterectomy. Now this is the lateral view of the cut section of the male pelvis. So here you can see this is bladder, this is ureter, this is the right ductus deferens. I am going to tell you the relation of the ductus deferens crosses the ureter superiorly from the lateral to medial side. You can see this crosses the ureter superiorly here. And the seminal vesicles, they lies below and behind the ureter. Here this is seminal vesicles lying below and behind the ureter, and the ductus deferens, they are crossing above superior from lateral to the medial side. This is the relation of the terminal part of the ureter in the male pelvis. Now let's talk about the normal constrictions in the ureter. Usually there is 3 constrictions present in the following part of the ureter. Some book says it is 4, some book says it is 5. Here this picture is in your book, and the first one is at the pelvic ureteric junction, generally at the lower pole of the kidney. It lies at the part of the lower pole of the kidney. That is first one, that is a pelvic ureteric junction. And the second is at the crossing at the pelvic brim, or you can say crossing at the external, the common iliac arteries. Third one is at the point where the ureter pierces the bladder wall, and it is the narrowest of all the constriction. Third one, some book says that is the crossing of ureter by the ductus deferens. This is the fourth one, and the opening of ureteric orifice at the trigone of the bladder. This is the fifth one. So some book says majority first pelvic ureteric junction, second crossing at the pelvic brim, and third at the entry in the bladder wall, and fourth one is crossing of the ureter by the vas deferens and the narrow opening of the ureteric orifice in the trigone. These are the normal constrictions present in the ureter. Now come to the arterial supply of the ureter. As you have already seen in the relations of the ureter, there is a lots of different branches of the arteries which are surrounding ureter laterally. They all are supplying the ureter in the different regions, like renal artery, gonadal artery, lumbar, peritoneal, common and internal iliac artery, inferior vesicle, and in female it is also supplied by the uterine and the vaginal arteries. So that as these arteries, they are running longitudinal and forming anastomosis in the peritoneum, which is covering entirely the ureter on the both sides. So unnecessarily detachment of these peritoneum over the ureter is leading to the tearing of these vessels, and this will lead to the necrosis of the ureter, or it leads the ureter is deprived of the minute blood vessels from the peritoneum and undergoes ischemic necrosis. So venous drainage is by corresponding arteries and the veins drains into the vena cava, inferior vena cava. Lymphatic drainage की बात करें तो from the upper part of the ureter they finally drains into the para-aortic lymph nodes. From the intermediate part it drains into the common iliac lymph nodes, and from the lower part it drains into the internal and external iliac lymph nodes. Now come to the nerve supplies. The sympathetic nerves are derived from the renal, gonadal and the superior hypogastric plexus, and it is around T10 to L1, and the parasympathetic supply is coming from the vagus and the pelvic splanchnic nerves. So this is the arterial supply, venous drainage, and the nerve supply of the ureter in the different parts of the ureter. So students, this is all about for the ureter. Students, this is all about for the ureter, its different parts, its relations. Now come to another question that arises. What are the factors which prevents the reflux of urine from the bladder to the ureter? So there are 4 factors, or you can say the 4 things which prevents reflux. The first one is oblique direction of the intravesical part of the ureter. Have you seen that? So in the posterior wall of the ureter is firmly anchored to the detrusor muscle and to the fissure of Walder, whereas the anterior wall of the submucosal ureter is more flexible. So in cases of increased intravesical pressure, students, this is all about for the ureter, its different parts, its relations. Now come to last portion, that is what are the factors which prevent the reflux of urine from the bladder to the ureters? You know, I'll tell you. There are 4 factors. The first one is oblique direction of the intravesical part of the ureter. Now, the posterior wall of ureter is firmly anchored to the detrusor muscle of the bladder, posterior wall, and the fissure of Walder, whereas the anterior wall of the ureter is more flexible as compared to the posterior wall. So in cases of increased vesical pressure, intravesical pressure, the anterior wall of ureter is compressed against the posterior wall, and it acts like a flap wall, and it closes the lumen of the ureter. So this is the first factors which prevent reflux of urine, that is the oblique direction of the intravesical part of the ureter and the different change in the posterior and the anterior wall of the ureter. Second is obliquity of the ureter is maintained by the contractions of the trigone muscles, which again acts from the posterior wall of the proximal urethra. That is the second, that is the obliquity of the ureter. Third is peristaltic movement in the ureteric muscles that passes upward to downward. It is approximately at the rate of 2 to 5 times per minute. So the urine is collected into the bladder in jets, in form of jets, not by the continuous drops. So this is the third point.